Then what he says, Antony, oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of art, pardon me, my dear friend, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. You are now only a bleeding piece of art as blood is flowing out of your dead body, and pardon me for acting in such a friendly manner with your killers. They will say, thou art the ruins of noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. There your body is lying, the earthly remains of the most mighty man of this world. So you are the most mighty man of this world. Oh, to the acha, that ever lived in the times of tide. Mane? Tide of times. Mane? And then that ever lived in the tide of times, woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. So there your body is lying, the earthly remains of the most mighty man of the world. May the murderers who shed your blood be cast and ruined in a disaster. Over thy wounds now I do prophesy. This open wounds which is bleeding appears to me like mouth speaking on behalf. Mane, the wounds which are bleeding appears to me like mouth speaking on their behalf to me. Mane, the wounds have been personified, they are like mouths and they are speaking on their behalf to me. I do solemnly predict that a curse shall fall on all humans. Over thy wounds now I do prophecy, and what he prophesies, let's see. Which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of man. So I do solemnly predict that a curse shall fall on all humans. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife. So, men shall be affected with diseases and dangerous civil war would break out, and those wars would be fought over all over Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, blood and dangerous civil war, bloodshed and death would become so common in the country and citizens, that and dreadful objects so similar that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war. So mothers, to see their children being cut into pieces before their eyes, they'll give only a normal smile. Their infants are all pity choked with custom of fell deads. The spirit of Caesar, roaming over the art and revenge, along with eight ajo. They are all pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit raging for revenge, and Caesar's spirit will roam around over the earth in revenge. Along with eight by his side come hot from hell. So, along with eight, the goddess of revenge will come in all from hell, shall in this confines with a monarch's voice. So, the eight will say in the voice of the monarchs, and what the eight will say, the Greek goddess, what she'll say, the goddess of revenge, who come in all from the hell with all authority of a king, and allow these regions to get destroyed by war and famine, and she'll curse in such a manner that whole Italy would be destroyed by war and famine. shall in this confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc and let sleep the dogs of war. So destroyed by, let all the regions be destroyed by war and famine, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth with carrion men groaning for burial. So what will happen? Due to so many wars, after the breakout of so many wars, the world will get polluted by the smell of rotting body. Carrion mane carrion flesh, mane dead bodies. Smell of rotting bodies of men in large number lying unburied means what? When there would be a war, thousands of people would be lying dead, so there will no one to bury their bodies, and the whole world will smell of the dead bodies of the Carians. With Carian men groaning for burial, and they will be crying for burial. What human beings after they die, all of us want our rights to get performed. Some gets buried, some gets burnt, some gets some way or the other cremated. So in different religions, we every human being after death needs peace, so no human being after death will want their bodies to get rotted in this way, but here the bodies would be rotting, the Carians would be rotting in large number, and they'll want their bodies to get buried. This shall be the consequence of the bloody deed of the murder of Caesar. So that would be the outcome of Caesar's death. Now, enter a servant. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not? So, are a servant of Octavius Caesar? Are you a servant of Octavius Caesar? Servant, I do, Mark Antony. So, the servant of Caesar has come. Octavius Caesar, not Julius Caesar. Antony, Caesar did right for him to come to Rome. Servant says, Antony says, Caesar wrote to him some letters to return to Rome. Servant, he did receive his letters and is coming. So the servant is telling that, wait, this Octavius Caesar is coming. Means, servant of Octavius Caesar delivers Antony the message that he is on his way, he is coming. And Octavius Caesar, since Julius Caesar did not have his own children, he probably adopted this Octavius Caesar. And bid me say to you by word of mouth. So, now returning to Rome, I Lobelnon told to inform you. So, Octavius Caesar has sent his servant to inform Antony. O Caesar, now Antony, thy heart is big, get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching for mine eyes. Seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, began to water, is thy master coming? So now Antony, what he is saying, see, let's see. I think you have a soft heart. Means he is telling, seeing the body, he is telling, I think you have a soft heart. Do not hold your tears, allow them to flow down from your eyes and relieve your heart. Your tears brings tears to my eyes also. Did you say that your Lord Octavius Caesar is coming to Rome? Is he on his way? Antony is telling the servant of Octavius Caesar that I know you have a soft heart. If you feel like crying, you can cry. To relieve your heart, your tears brings tears to my eyes also, and so on. Then he asks whether Octavius Caesar is on his way or not, on his way to Rome or not. Servant, he lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome. So the servant says that yes, he will come, and he is about 7 leagues away from Rome. He is about to arrive. Antony, post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius yet. Hie hence and tell him so. Yet stay a while means he is telling because he is the next after Caesar. It's expected that his relative will take up his place, Octavius Caesar, and that's why it's the prediction of Mark Antony that he is also not safe. Even danger can fall upon this Octavius Caesar. What he says, let's see. Go back to him at once. He's telling that go, the servant go to him, tell him what has happened here, and also inform him that Rome is overcome with sorrow and grief. But I think you should wait till Caesar's body is taken to the marketplace, for there I shall try to make the people sound loudly by my speech, and find out what their thoughts are about the cruel murder of Caesar, which has been committed now. And after getting the people's reaction about the assassination of Caesar, you can properly inform Octavius about the present scenario of the country. Now lend your hand to me in carrying the Caesar's lifeless body to the marketplace. So, the servant of Octavius Caesar will help Mark Antony carry the body of Caesar. Now Mark Antony tells that go to him, go to Octavius Caesar. Mark Antony tells the servant to go to Octavius Caesar and inform him the condition of Rome. Tell him that Julius Caesar is already dead. Rome is overcome with sorrow and grief. And he also says that I think you should wait till Caesar's body is taken to the marketplace. Now, again, he is telling the servant to wait till the last rites of Caesar gets performed or Caesar's body is taken to the marketplace. There he will see, means Mark Antony, after delivering the speech, he will see the reaction of the people by his speech, and he'll try to understand what kind of reaction the common masses of Rome have. And then he is telling that the servant can go back to Octavius and narrate about the exact scenario or exact situation of the country. Now lend your hand to help me in carrying. Now he asks for the servant's help to carry the body to the marketplace. Now Act 3, exit a Caesar's body. All of them exit with Caesar's body. Now Act 3, Scene 2. Rome, the Forum. Enter Brutus. The first scene is a long scene and it's a very significant scene. Why? Because in this scene, Julius Caesar's murder takes place. His assassination takes place. The third act provides the crisis of the play. Third act, Scene 1. Caesar enters the Capitol with pomp and show. He ignores the warnings given by the soothsayer and Artemidorus. In spite of several warnings given by soothsayer and Artemidorus, Julius Caesar ignores each one of them. Both of them, the conspirators crowd around Caesar in support of a petition presented by Metellus Cimber. Caesar shows his arrogance and refuses to change his decision. At this juncture, Casca stabs him. The other conspirators follow suit, and Caesar dies with the words, "Eat too, brute," means you too, Brutus. একটা পিটিশন ওয়াজ প্রেজেন্টেড বাই মেটিলাস সিম্বাস, এই যে পাবলিয়াস সিম্বারের ইয়ের জন্য কি বলে ওটাকে, পাবলিয়াস সিম্বার ওয়াজ given some kind of sentence and to free banishment, and to free him from that he came with such weird prayers. Caesar shows his arrogance and refuses to change his decision. At this juncture, Casca stabs him. The other conspirators follow him, and Caesar dies with the words, "Last one to stab at Julius Caesar was Brutus," on his lips. Subsequently, Antony makes his peace with the conspirators. Brutus gives permission to Antony to deliver a funeral oration for Caesar. At the end of the scene, Antony professes bloodshed and civil war. Now we are advancing to Scene 2. Act 3, Scene 2. In this scene shows the power of verbal persuasion. A very, very important word. Verbal persuasion to achieve political power. This word is not was not confined to an age, but it is for all times. Verbal persuasion to achieve political power means William Shakespeare, how far sighted the person was, that he knew that verbal persuasion is one of the most biggest weapons to achieve political power. And we can even now see that the politicians are standing on the podiums and they are giving hypnotizing speech just to attract the audience. So the power of verbal persuasion to achieve political power. And who has the power of verbal persuasion? Mark Antony. He completely changes the crowd. He pulls the crowd under his blanket. He pulls the whole crowd towards towards himself. The citizens demand to know why Caesar was murdered. Brutus calmly explains to the citizens the reason that Caesar's death was necessary. Brutus tells the crowd that he loved Caesar but loved Rome even more. He slew Caesar because he was ambitious and would have made slaves of all of them. Antony's emotional speech describes Caesar's love for Rome and his sympathy for the Romans. He shows them Caesar's wounds and reads out the contents of his will. So, Mark Antony, what he will do is he will give a hypnotizing speech. Brutus will say that they killed Caesar because Caesar was about to become tyrant, and although Brutus loved Caesar, but he loved Rome more, and that's why he killed Caesar. On the other hand, Mark Antony takes out a will that has been left by Caesar, and what is written in that will? That he is giving some portion to each of the people of Rome. মানে কারণ না কারোর জন্য জায়জাত যেটাকে বলে কিছু না কিছু ছেড়ে গেছে. And imagine the people, Shakespeare had the power to understand this, that people are always greedy. Every human being is greedy. Till the time he was not telling this, they were not coming under his control. But once he said about the Jaizat, they became very happy. Now, Antony's emotional speech describes Caesar's love for Rome and his sympathy for the Romans. He shows them Caesar's wounds and reads out the contents of his will. He so works upon the mob, hypnotizes the mob to this extent that Brutus and Cassius are forced to ride like madmen out of Rome. He takes the situation, Mark Antony brings the situation under his full control, and the situation grows so worse for Brutus and Cassius that they could leave. They were forced to ride like madmen out of Rome. Brutus fails to win over the crowd because he appeals to their mind. Antony succeeds because he appeals to their heart. So Brutus gives logic that why they killed Julius Caesar, means it acted upon the brain, the logic, the mind of the people. And Antony, what he did, he hypnotized the people and he appealed their heart, which this also proves that emotional sustenance is greater than physical sustenance. Emotions are above everything on this earth, and Shakespeare proves that also in this particular scene. Now let's move to the original scene, Act 3, Scene 2. Citizens, we will be satisfied. Enter Brutus, Cassius and a throng of citizens. একগাদা citizen আর Brutus আর Cassius হাজির হয়েছে. Citizens, we will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied. So we are satisfied about Caesar's murder, but you will have to give satisfactory reason behind it. Brutus, then follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, go you into the other street and part the numbers. Mane, let us divide the crowd. The crowd must get divided. Then follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, you go to the other street and part the numbers. One what Brutus said, Cassius, you go in some other place and deliver your lecture so that the number becomes half. The crowd becomes half. Those that will hear me speak, now he is telling this to the people, to the audience. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him, and public reasons shall be rendered of Caesar's death. So, at first, Brutus tells Cassius to go in some other part of the street and start giving his lecture, his whatever speech he wants to give Cassius, so that the crowd gets divided. And it tells the crowd, Brutus tells the crowd, whoever wants to go to listen to Cassius, they can go, and who wants to follow my speech, they can stay here. First citizen. Now, what the citizens say, let's see. I will hear Brutus speak. So, it's obvious that most of the people will prefer Brutus. Second citizen. I will hear Cassius and compare their reasons. Now, first citizen says he will hear Brutus' speech. And second citizen says he will hear Cassius speak. And then they will tally their reasons given behind the assassination of Caesar. When severally we hear them rendered, we will compare the reasons given by them. Now, third citizen, the noble Brutus is ascended silence. The third citizen says that the noble Brutus has climbed the platform. Let there be silence. Let us listen to what Brutus says. Now, this is one of the most historical speech of Brutus. One of the most historical speeches ever given by Brutus, Marcus Brutus. Be patient till the last. Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor, that you may believe. So, citizens of Rome, fellow countrymen, and my good friends, listen to me for the sake of the cause which I have to plead. And be silent so that you may be able to listen. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor, that you may believe. Censor me in your wisdom and awake your senses. So, citizens of Rome, fellow countrymen, and my good friends, listen to me for the sake of the cause which I have to plead, and be silent so that you may be able to listen. Believe me for my honor, and have a respect for my honor, so that you may believe what I say. Now he's asking to remain silent. He's pleading his audience to pay respect to him, believe him, honor him. Judge me wisely and rouse your intelligence, so that you may be a better judge. Censor me in your wisdom and awake your senses, that you may be better judge. So, believe me and rouse your senses, so that you can be a better judge than me. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say, money in this assembly, if anybody is dear friend of Caesar or very close to Caesar, if anybody is there, that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. So he should know, he should be well aware of this fact, that Brutus did not love Caesar less than whoever is present in this particular place or listening to my speech. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. But if there anybody in this crowd was a true friend of Caesar, I say to that man that Brutus's love for Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend ask why Brutus killed Caesar, then this is my answer. Not that Acha, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves than that Caesar was dead to leave all men free? So he says that it's not that Brutus loved Caesar less, but he loved Rome more. Then he says that is it not better that Caesar should be dead and all the people of Rome are free? Would you rather want Caesar alive and all of you be his slave? Or you would like Caesar dead and all of you be free? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slay him. So as Brutus loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. So Brutus says that as Caesar was fortunate, he loved him. He weeps for him. As Caesar loved Brutus, so did Brutus love Caesar. He was fortunate. Caesar was fortunate. That's why Brutus used to rejoice at it. Caesar was valiant, brave. So Brutus honored him. But as uh, Caesar was ambitious, so he slayed him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. There are tears for his love, joy for his good fate, respect for his brave deeds, and death for his pride and ambition. Who is here who would wish to be a slave of him? Is there anybody who is here so base that would be a bondman? Bondman money slave. Base money nichu. Who is here so base? Who is here so mean? So wretched that he or she would like to remain a bondman of Caesar? If any a slave, if any speak for him, have I offended? Who is here so rude that would be a Roman? If any speak for him, I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any speak for him, I have offended. I pause for a reply. So he asks, is there anyone who wants to remain a slave of Caesar? No. Who is there so covered that he does not take pride for being a Roman? So is there anybody who doesn't want to be a true Roman? No one probably. If there is anybody speak now who is so wicked here that he does not love his country, if there is a man here, let him raise his voice, for I have offended him. I am waiting for you to reply. So nobody would be as base to remain as a wretched, would be as wretched to remain as a bonded slave. Nobody would be there who wouldn't be a true Roman, who is so uncivilized, who is not a true Roman. Is there anybody who is so wicked that he will not love his country? If anybody is there, kindly speak out. Citizens, none. Brutus, none. Brutus, then none have I offended. So I haven't done any mistake. Then I have offended no one. I have done the right thing. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol, his glory not extenuated. Extenuated means reduced to lessen the strength of anything, wherein he was worthy, nor his offences enforced. Enforced money exaggerated, for which he suffered death. So I offended no one. I didn't have done any wrong to any Roman. I give you full liberty to do same thing with me as I have done with Caesar. If I go ambitious by nature, the means he is telling that if I give you full liberty, is telling the Romans that I am giving you full liberty, then you can kill me also. If I become ambitious, you can kill me. The complete story of Caesar's death will be kept as an official record in the Capitol. এই যে, the question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. Mane, the complete story of Caesar's death will be kept as an official record in the Capitol. The honor and fame that Caesar won have not been minimized in any way. তোরা হিজ এই যে বলছে হিজ গ্লোরি নট এক্সটেনিউয়েটেড মানে একটুও কিন্তু গ্লোরি কমেনি, রিডিউসড টু লেসেন দ্য স্ট্রেংথ অফ এনিথিং। এক্সটেনিউয়েটেড মানে দ্য অনার অ্যান্ড ফেম দ্যাট সিজার হ্যাড ওন হ্যাভ নট বিন মিনিমাইজড ইন এনি ওয়ে, wherein he was worthy, nor his offences enforced। enforced মানে exaggerated। আবার nor have the faults which has led to his death been maximized to any extent, মানে neither his honor and fame has got minimized in any way, nor his faults which has led to his death has been maximized to any extent, মানে no exaggeration is there, neither his glory has been belittled by anybody. Now enter Antony and others with Caesar's body. Now Mark Antony is entering along with the servant of Octavius with Caesar's body. Here comes his body mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth. So now Brutus is still saying that Mark Antony is coming. He is mourning. Mark Antony has brought Caesar's body. He is mourning at present. Who, though he had no hand in his death, Mark Antony is not one of the conspirators, but he will also be benefited. See, the way he is invoking the crowd is telling that although Mark Antony did not play any part in the assassination of Caesar, but still he would be given his share. A place in the commonwealth. What he will get? A place in the commonwealth. As which of you shall not? With this I depart, that I slew my best lover for the good of Rome. I have the same dagger for myself, where I shall please my country to meet my death. So he says that you will also enjoy freedom, which will be impossible while all power rests in the hands of Caesar. So he will also get freedom. He is telling the common citizens, I say no more except this. Hence I killed my dearest friend Caesar for the sake of the freedom of the country. I am readily willing to sacrifice my life for Rome whenever it shall be required in her interest. Means I have killed Caesar for the sake of Rome, and if a time comes in this life that I too should die for the sake of Rome, my love, my patriotism for the country is so strong that at that time even I will also die. I will also sacrifice my life for the sake of my country if it requires ever. Citizens, leave Brutus, leave. Long live Brutus. In this way, they are calling out the name of Brutus. First citizen, bring him with triumph home unto his house. Second citizen, give him a statue with his ancestors. Third citizen, let him be Caesar. Fourth citizen shall be crowned Caesar's better parts shall be crowned in Brutus. So, what the citizens are telling one by one, let's see. We will carry noble Brutus to his house in a grand procession of victory. So, when any person becomes victorious, he is carried or by guard, giving guard of honor, or after he has come home after his victory. In the same way, they'll carry noble Brutus to the house in the grand procession of victory. Second citizen, let Rome erect a statue of Brutus in his honor, as we have been doing for his ancestors. Third citizen, let next citizen, second citizen is telling that let Rome erect a statue of Brutus. See, after the speech only the crowd has got carried out to this extent that they are wanting a statue of Brutus to be erected in his honor, as we have been doing for his ancestors. Means Brutus was so honorable and he used to hold such a high position in the society that his ancestors' such statue are also there in different places of Rome, and the same they want to do for Brutus because he has done such a noble work. He has killed the tyrant for the sake of the country. Third citizen, let the people put him in the place of Caesar. So now the third citizen is telling that we will remove the statue of Caesar and we will put the statue of Brutus in that place. Fourth citizen, the noble virtues of Caesar shall then find their highest point in Brutus. So whatever noble virtues Caesar had, those noble virtues would live with Brutus. His fourth citizen is telling that he possesses all the qualities of Caesar, so he should be crowned as the king. AJ. Caesar's better parts shall be crowned in Brutus. Mane, Brutus possesses all the noble qualities and of Caesar, and he should be crowned as the king. Now again the first citizen has to tell something. First citizen, let everybody be quiet. Brutus, good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake stay here with Antony, to grace Caesar's corpse and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone till Antony have spoke. তো বলছে গুড কান্ট্রিম্যান লেট মি লিভ অ্যালোন মানে লেট মি লিভ ফ্রম দিস প্লেস লেট মার্ক অ্যান্টনি ক্যারি আউট দ্য স্পিচ অ্যান্ড let him give his own opinion and speech over here and honor the body of Caesar and give a respectful hearing to Antony's speech, the object of which will be to glorify Caesar. Means he knows that Mark Antony will glorify Caesar. Mark Antony has been permitted by us to make such a speech. By our permission is allowed to make. So we have permitted Mark Antony to give the speech. I do entreat you, not a man depart. I request you, not a single person should leave, save I alone till Antony have spoke. Mane, to accept myself only till Antony has finished his speech. Now he goes. First citizen, wait, all of you, and let us listen to Mark Antony. Now all of them are about to listen to Mark Antony. Third citizen, of course, you gentlemen, gentle Romans, Antonius telling. All of the citizens say, "Silence, all of you, let us hear Antony." Now Antony begins. "Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him." So, friends, Roman and countrymen, kindly listen to me, lend me your ears. I haven't come to uh, praise Caesar, I have only come to perform the funeral rites over Caesar's body. The evil that men do leaves after them. The good is oft deterred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. So if it was so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously hath Caesar answered it. बोलते, "Friends, Roman country men, kindly lend me your ears. I have to perform the funeral rites, and I am not here to praise Caesar. The evil that men do are remembered after death, but the good that they do is often forgotten, and they are buried soon with their bodies." So whatever Caesar has done, whatever good he has done, he'll be buried today, and nothing, no good, no remainings of that good will stay back. But whatever evil deeds he has done, for example, if he was ambitious, and that's why he had to pay for that, because it was a grievous fault, it was a very serious fault and weakness of his character if he was ambitious. And Caesar has answered it, means, and Caesar has paid for being ambitious. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. I am here, Brutus has, so Brutus, whatever Brutus has done must have done right, because Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. I am here to speak a few words on Caesar with the allowance of noble Brutus and his noble friends. I may say that here Brutus and his friends were compelled to take this action against Caesar, but Brutus says he was ambitious and faithful and just to me. So I am here to speak a few words on Caesar with the allowance noble Brutus and his noble men. I may say that Brutus and his friends were compelled. First he says that Brutus was compelled to take action against Caesar from the considerations of honor. And Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome. এখানটা কি, all the friends of Caesar are respectable and noble men. Money in one hand Brutus is respectable, and on the other hand all the friends of Caesar are also respectable and noble men. Caesar was my faithful friend and was always just to me. So Caesar had always been just to me, he had been a faithful friend of mine. Although Brutus says he was over ambitious and Brutus is noble. Although Brutus says that Caesar was ambitious, but still he had been a very faithful friend of mine. Now what he says, let's see. He hath brought many captives home to Rome. Caesar had brought many war prisoners to Rome, whom he had captured after his victories. The war prisoners were later released on payment of huge amount of money. The money went and filled the Roman treasury, and Caesar never used it for his personal expenses. বলছে তখনকার দিনে many people used to remain prisoners of Rome, and for releasing those prisoners people used to pay a lot of money, ransom, bribe, to relieve release those captives from prison. But Julius Caesar never used that money for his own purpose. He always kept the money in Roman treasury. The money went and filled the Roman treasury, and Caesar never used it for his personal expenses. Caesar was never a greedy man. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. তাও Brutus বলছে নাকি Caesar was ambitious. Now he will give one after the other a logic. He will give logics one after the other, and he will say that still Brutus says, Honorable Brutus says that Caesar was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on Lupercal festival, the crown was offered 3 times and Caesar refused to take the crown. I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? So in Lupercal festival, Caesar was offered the crown thrice and he refused the crown thrice only. Still you would say that Caesar was ambitious? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to disapprove or disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn from him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me, my heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me. তো বলছে এখানে I do not spend my words here to disprove Caesar. I am not here to disobey or disregard whatever logic has Brutus given, but just to convey you what I actually know. You all loved Caesar at one point of time. You know you were quite satisfied in your act of loving. Then why are you not at grief now and mourning for Caesar? So I know it very well that the citizens of Rome once loved Caesar a lot. It is quite justified also that you loved Caesar, but why are you not grief-stricken when he has already left? When he has died, why are you not showing your honest mourning now? When you have showed your honest love for Caesar, you should show your honest mourning when he is no more. It seems that the logic of judgment has gone away from Romans. It seems as if all the Romans have become blind. You have lost your power of judgment and fair play, and had taken new shelter in the wild beast. Now all Romans have become wild beasts. The Caesar has gone forever. He is no more. He is lying dead, and you are not shedding tears for him. The sight of my noble friend Caesar hurts me. My heart is lying in Caesar's dead body coffin, and I must wait for a moment till I can regain it. So already I am standing here. My corporeal frame is standing in front of you, but my heart is lying inside the coffin where Caesar is lying dead. I must wait for a moment till I regain it. So he says that he must wait for a moment till he regains it. এই যে what cause withholds then you to mourn for him? কেন আজকে কাঁদছো না তার জন্য? O the judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts. Have you become beasts now? Have you lost your sense of justice and judgment? And men have lost their reason. Bear with me, my heart is in the coffin there with Caesar. So my heart is in the coffin with Caesar, and I must pause till I come back to me. First citizen. Methinks there is much reason in his saying. First citizen is, I think Antony is speaking with much reason. Second citizen, if thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong. So, second citizen, if you think about it properly, Caesar has been treated in a unjust way. Now, the citizens can understand that yes, whatever has been done has not been done right. Third citizen, as he masters, I fear will a worse come in his place. Yes, this is the now the third citizen is telling that the ruler has gone, he is already dead. Now, I think he personally believes that even a worse oppressive ruler would take up the place. I think we'll have a worse oppressive ruler than him. যা হয় আর কি, the old one goes and the new one, whoever comes up, becomes worse only than the one who is to remain before, who was before. Fourth citizen now marking, he begins again to speak. Now the fourth citizen, see, wait. He is again starting to say something. Now Antony again he speaks. But yesterday the word of Caesar might. And now again Antony has started speaking. But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I do not do them wrong, I rather choose to do wrong the day to wrong myself. And you that I'll wrong such honorable men, but here is a parchment with the seal of Caesar. এটার মিনিংটা আগে বলে দিই. Yesterday Caesar's every word was law throughout the world, and today he is lying dead in his coffin and there is no one beside him. How humble and poor he might be, would like to show him a little honor. Dear fellow Roman citizens, if I had any intention to rouse you to rebellion, I would be doing an injustice to Brutus and Cassius, who are noble. বলছে only yesterday Caesar's word carried more weight than the opinion and judgment of the whole world. কাল অবধি Caesar's word judgment carried more weight than the opinion and judgment of the whole world. But now he lies there dead, and no one is so humble to pay respect to him now. Ejo. But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world, carried the biggest weight. Ejo, carried more weight and opinion and judgment of the whole world. And now he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. And no, now he lies there dead, and no one is honorable to respect him now. O masters, if I were disposed to stir, O gentlemen, if I am inclined to rouse your feelings and passions so as to incite you to mutiny and rage, মানে যদি তোমাদেরকে শুধুই রাগ, মিউটিনি মানে বলেছিলাম সিপয় মিউটিনি, ঝগড়া বিবাদ, অ্যান্ড রেজ রাগ. If I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, if I am inclined to rouse your feelings and passions, means I am not here to rouse your feelings and passions and with mutiny and rage. মানে I will be doing an injustice to Brutus and Cassius. মানে তোমাদেরকে যদি যুদ্ধ আর রাগ এগুলোই শেখাই, শুধুই মানে if I instigate you against Brutus and Cassius, that would be wrong. I won't do that. And Brutus and Cassius, they are honorable men. You who you all know are honorable men, so I will never stir your hearts with mutiny and rage. I will never incite in you any kind of mutiny and rage. I will not do any injustice to them. I will never do any injustice to Brutus and Cassius. I would rather do injustice to I would rather do an injustice to dear Caesar, to myself and you, than do an injustice to such men of honor as Brutus, Cassius, and the rest. So he is ironically, actually, he is taunting them by telling that he would rather do injustice to dear Caesar, to himself, than he will do injustice to Brutus and Cassius. He will rather do injustice to dear Caesar, to himself, and to the citizens, rather than doing any injustice to Brutus and Cassius. Means with his hypnotizing speech, he is actually trying to infuriate the audience. But there is a document bearing the seal of Caesar. Now he brings out the wheel of Caesar. I found it in his study. Means in his study room I have found it. It is his wheel. Now he takes out a wheel of Caesar. If only you, the common people, were to hear this will, pardon me. I do not mean to read. Now he is showing that wheel to the people. He is provoking them to become curious, but he is not reading out the wheel in front of them, but he is simply rousing curiosity amongst the masses. But if you were to hear it, you would be moved that you would go and kiss Caesar's wounds reverently and dip your handkerchief in his sacred blood in order to keep the same as relics. তো মেমারি হিসাবে হ্যাঙ্কারচিফগুলোকে রাখবে সিজারের ব্লাডে ডুবিয়ে। যদি তোমরা সেই রিলটা জানতে পারো, ইফ ইউ কাম টু নো হাউ noble Caesar was, what kind of will he has left for people, all the common people of Rome, you will feel so moved that you will kiss all the wounds of Caesar and dip your handkerchiefs in his sacred blood and keep them as relics. Relics মানে as memory. Yes, you would beg a hair of his. এরপরে কি বলছে, আর একটা চুল একটা চাইবে তোমরা, ভিক্ষে চাইবে, to keep as a sacred memorial, and at the time you are dying you would mention it in your wills and bequeath it as a rich legacy to your children. So what you will do, you will beg for a hair of dead Caesar and you will keep it as a memory, and in years to come you will leave, people leave a lot of riches, jewelries, cash, lots of properties for their children. And what you will keep for your children, for as a rich legacy to your children? Now as hair of Caesar, the person was so noble. If you come to know about his will, now let me read the original text. But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Till yesterday Caesar's word carried a lot of weight and opinion than the whole world, and now he lies there, and none so poor to him do him reverence. Now nobody is going to show any respect to him. Oh masters, if I were disposed to style your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, now I am not here to invoke mutiny and rage amongst the people. If I do that, I'll be doing a grave injustice to Brutus and Cassius. I should do, now this is the original text, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong. Rather, if I invoke mutiny and rage amongst the people, I'll be doing wrong to Brutus and Cassius. You who all know are honorable men, but they are honorable men, so I cannot do wrong to them. I will do them wrong, I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself, you, than I will wrong such honorable men. I will wrong everybody but not I will wrong me myself. I'll wrong Caesar. I will wrong myself. I'll wrong all the peoples of Rome. But I'll not do any wrong to Brutus and Cassius. But here is a parchment with the seal of Caesar. Now he brings out the will of Caesar. I found it in his closet. Closet money in his study. It's his will. Let but the common hear this testament. Now he is not going to read out the will, but he is telling, which pardon me, I do not mean to read. I don't want to read, but I am showing you that with the seal of Caesar, একটা মোহর দেওয়া সিজারের ওই উইলটা আছে, কিন্তু আমি পড়ে পড়ে দেবো না। And they would go and kiss Caesar. And if you come to know about the wheel, you will go and kiss Caesar's wounds and dip their napkins in the sacred blood. Yea, beg a hair for of him for memory, and dying mention it within their wills. মরার সময় তোমরা বলে যাবে মানে legacy ছেড়ে যাবে as a rich legacy unto their issue to your children. Fourth citizen, we will hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony. The will, all এবার সবাই বলছে the will, we are determined to hear Caesar's will. Now everybody, people have become curious. They want to know what is written in the will. Anthony, be patient. Gentle friends, I must not read it out. It's not proper that you should know how much Caesar loved you. You are neither made of wood nor you are stones. You are human beings. And being human, if you hear Caesar's will, you'll become infuriated. তো তোমাদের I will not read. I will not let you know how much Caesar loved you, because you are human beings. You are not wood. You are not stone. So if you can't know how Caesar loved you, how much Caesar loved you, will get infuriated. You will go mad with rage. It is better that you should know that you are to inherit his property. You should know that some property or the other Caesar has left for all the citizens, and Caesar, he didn't have his own descendants, isn't it? So that's why he has left the property for the general masses. Because if you do come to know this, I cannot predict what it will lead to. Have patience, gentle friends. I must not read it. This is the original text. It is not meet you know Caesar loved you, how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men, hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you. It will make you mad. It's good you know not that you are his heirs. HEIR, heir to the throne. উত্তরাধিকারী, কি কি জিনিসের উত্তরাধিকারী আছো সেটা তোমাদের না জানাই ভালো। তাহলে তোমরা এত রেগে যাবে, আর তোমরা তো উড বা স্টোন নও, হিউম্যান বিং, যে একদম পাগল হয়ে যাবে রাগে। So for it you should, oh what come to it, I cannot predict what it will lead to, because you will go mad with rage. It is better that you should not know that you are to inherit his property, because if you do come to know this, I cannot predict what it will lead to. So we look at the way, look at his skill of oratory skill, that he's such a great orator. He's such a hypnotizing speech is giving to the audience, just to just to infuriate them only, saying that he doesn't want to infuriate, but he is actually infuriating them. Antony, will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have overshoot myself to tell you of it. Oh, fourth citizen, read the will. We will hear it, Antony. You should read the will. Read us the will, Caesar's will. So the fourth citizen is very curious to know about the will, because he has smelt something of property and money, and that is the reason human beings have this habit, and that's why he is asking out of curiosity. Antony, will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have overshot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men. I am really frightened that I may do something wrong, and that's why I don't want to read. Those daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it. Now he's telling that they have killed Caesar with the dagger. Not I am really frightened what they'll do next. So I don't want to disclose. See what he says? Will you be patient? Will you wait for a while? I have gone farther than intended in mentioning the will. So I have overshot myself to tell you of it. মানে যা বলা উচিত ছিল তার চেয়ে বেশি বলে ফেলেছি। I have gone farther than intended in mentioning the wheel means he shouldn't have mentioned about the wheel. He has gone farther than intended in mentioning the wheel. I am afraid that I am doing injustice to the honorable man whose daggers stabbed Caesar to death. Indeed, I am afraid I have wronged them. I do fear it. Now, fourth citizen. They were traitors. Honorable men? Now he just this thing only he actually wanted. He wanted the common masses to call all the conspirators as give them the adjective of traitors. He didn't give he himself didn't give them give Brutus and Cassius the adjective of traitors, but he the way he spoke it forced them to call the assassinators as traitors. They are honorable men that they are traitors. Fourth citizen bolche. Citizens, the will, the testament. Now again the rest of the citizens are telling, please tell about the will. Second citizens, they were villains, murderers. The will, read the will. So they were traitors and murderers. Please read the will, Antony. You will compel me then to read the will. So you are forcing me. You are determined that you will listen to the will at any cost. Then make a ring about the corpse of Caesar and let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend and will give me leave? He bolche, are you determined? Then I shall read out the will. So stand in a circle around Caesar's corpse and let me show you the body of the man who made this will. Shall I come down? Do you permit me so? Though he is asking the people to circle around Caesar's corpse and he is wanting to show something. This Mark Antony. Citizens, come down. Second citizens, yes, descend. Third citizen, you shall have leave, so you shall have our permission. Fourth citizen, Antony comes down. Fourth citizen, a ring, stand around. So fourth citizen form a circle and stand around the dead body. Now the fourth citizen tells the rest of the masses to form a circle around the corpse of Caesar. First citizen, stand from the hearse, stand from the body. Second citizen, room for Antony, most noble Antony. So their speech has already changed. They are calling Antony the noble man. Just before a couple of a little bit time back, if we move backward, we will find they were rejoicing. They were actually giving a lot of honor to Brutus, and now they have given that place to Mark Antony. Nay, if you have, what Antony says, let's see, Mark Antony. If you are capable of being moved to tears, shed them now. You all will recognize this cloak. I remember the first time when Caesar put it on, একটা cloak দেখালো, সেইটা প্রথম সিজার কখন পড়েছিল দেখালো. It was one summer evening in his tent. That day he had defeated the নার্ভিদেরকে ডিফিট করেছিল. আই রিমেম্বার দ্য ফার্স্ট টাইম ইন সিজার পুট ইট অন, একটা কোনো গ্লোক পড়ে আছে সেটা দেখে ওরা চিনতে পারবে. আর বলছে যে ইফ ইউ আর কেপেবল অফ বিং মুভ টু টিয়ার শেড দেম নাও, স্টার্ট ক্রাইং দ্যাট হি হ্যাড ডিফিটেড দ্য নার্ভি. Look, it was at this point that Cassius's dagger pierced through the cloak. Cassius's dagger pierced through the cloak. See what a big hole in the cloak was made by the dagger of malicious Casca. This is the place through which the dagger of Brutus, so well loved of Caesar, passed and stabbed Caesar. And as Brutus pulled out his damned dagger, see how the blood of Caesar came out close behind the dagger, as though the blood eagerly rushed forth from his body to ascertain whether it was really Brutus who had so cruelly struck at Caesar. বলছে যেই ক্লোকটা পরে সিজার একদিন ডিফিট করেছিল নার্ভিকে, সেই ক্লোকটাই আজ ও পরেছিল. আর সেটা দেখো কেমন কেশিয়াসের ডেগার পিয়ার্স করেছে থ্রু দ্য ক্লোক. See what a big hole in the cloak was made by the digger of malicious Casca. সেই ডেগারটাই see, this is the place through which dagger of Brutus, so well loved of Caesar, passed and stabbed Caesar. As Brutus pulled out his damn dagger, যখন টেনে বার করলো, see how blood of Caesar came out close behind the dagger as the blood eagerly rushed forth from his body to ascertain whether it was really Brutus who had so cruelty struck at Caesar. এতই ক্রুয়েলটি ছিল যে ব্রুটাস ওকে মারলো, for Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's favorite. Judge, oh you gods! Now he is calling the citizens as gods. How dearly Caesar loved him. Brutus's stab was the most cruel, ওই কথাটা আছে, the most unkindest cut of all, কোথাও একটা আছে, এই যে, this was the most unkindest cut of all, এটাই বলবে, Brutus most cruel because the noble Caesar saw him stab. He was overwhelmed by Brutus's ingratitude, which he found to be more deadly than the daggers of the traitors. So, the ingratitude of a true friend was more treacherous than the treachery of the traitors. This broke his great and noble heart, defeated this. And covering his face in this cloak, great Caesar fell at the base of Pompey's statue, from where all the time blood was flowing as if the statue was bleeding. Oh, what a tragic fall it was! My countrymen, Caesar's fall was my fall and your fall, and it meant ruin of all of us. The bloodthirsty traitors at the time triumphed over us. Oh, now you are shedding tears, and I find that pity has created an immense impression on you. These are tears of kindness and sympathy. You, kind hearted as you are, weep when you have yet seen only the tears made by traitors in Caesar's cloak. Now take a look on his body, mangled as you see by the daggers of traitors. তো কি বলছে যে স্ট্যাচুটা ব্লিডিং, ও হোয়াট আ ট্র্যাজিক ফল, কি ট্র্যাজিক ফল এটা ছিল, মাই কান্ট্রিম্যান সিজার্স ফল ওয়াজ মাই ফল ইয়োর ফল, তার ধ্বংস মানে তোমার ধ্বংস, আমার ধ্বংস, ইট মেন্ট রুইন অফ অল অফ আস, আমাদের সবার ধ্বংস, ব্লাড থার্স্টি ট্রেটার অ্যাট দ্য ট্রায়াম্পড ওভার আস। তো নর্মালি হোয়াট হ্যাপেন্স, ট্রায়াম্পস মানে গুড ট্রায়াম্পস ওভার ইভেল, কিন্তু এখন ব্লাড থার্স্টি ট্রেটাররা জিতে গেছে। Oh, now you are shedding tears and find that pity has created an impression on you. So, see, pity, tears of pity is coming out. There are tears of kindness and sympathy. You, kind hearted, as you are, weep when you have as yet seen only tears made by the traitors in Caesar's cloak. So Mark Antony is telling, what he is telling, let's see. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. Means he is telling the people, the common masses of Italy, common masses of Rome. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle, money he is showing the cloak, the dress which Julius Caesar is wearing. The corpse of Caesar is lying in front of them and he is wearing a mantle, and the Mark Antony is showing the people that mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. So he tells the audience that he remembers the first time when Caesar put it on. It was on a summer's evening in his tent. It was on one summer evening in his tent. That day he overcame the Narvai. Narvai is when he fought battle against an army. It's the name of an army, and he won over them. That day he overcame the Narvai. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. So through this place, Cassius's dagger ran into his body, pierced through the cloak. He's showing the place through which Cassius's dagger pierced through the cloak. See what a rent the envious Casca made. So this is the place through which a big hole in the cloak made by the dagger of malicious Casca. First he is showing the place which Cassius's dagger pierced through the cloak. Next he is showing a big hole in the cloak which was made by the dagger of malicious Casca. Number 3. Look, Casca. Then through this well-beloved Brutus stabbed. This is the place through which the dagger of Brutus, so well loved of Caesar, passed and stabbed Caesar. And as he plucked his cast steel away, the first time ever, I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. He remembers when Caesar first put on that cloak. It was on a summer evening in his tent that day he overcame Narvi. Overcame the Narvi. It was a summer evening and that day in his tent he defeated the Narvi army. Nervii, Narvi army. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what arrant the envious Casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed, and as he plucked his cast steel away, mark how blood of Caesar flowed it, as rushing out of doors to be resolved. As is, this is a simile. Simile, double superlative is an intensifier. It stresses how unkind the particular cart was. This was the most unkindest cart of all. So now explanation to this portion. Look how Caesar's blood flows as Brutus withdrew his dagger from his body. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. Look at this hole made by Cassius's dagger. Then see what a rain these envious Casca made, and this big hole which was made by this treacherous, malicious, jealous Casca. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. Now this hole was made by his dear friend Brutus when he stabbed Caesar. Look, in this place, and as he plucked his cast steel away, when Brutus took away the dagger from Caesar's body, withdrew the dagger from Caesar's body, blood came out as if in haste to see it was really Brutus who had made such a cruel blow. So it seemed as if, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it as rushing out of the doors to be resolved. He is personifying the blood. Blood has been personified. It seemed as if the blood looked out of the door, rushed out of the door to see whether was it truly Brutus? How could a friend be so treacherous? Was it really Brutus who was piercing pulling the dagger into Caesar's body? Was it really Brutus? It seemed as if the blood rushed out of the doors to see whether it was really Brutus or not. Who had made such a cruel blow? You all know well that Caesar regarded Brutus as his good genius. If Brutus so unkindly knocked or so, for Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Caesar's angel means Caesar's very dearer companion. Judge, O you gods, you dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. So double superlative has been used because it acts like an intensifier. It stresses how unkind the particular cut was. God knows how deep was Caesar's affection for Brutus. No other attack is more cruel and heinous than the attack made by Brutus on Julius Caesar. For when noble Caesar saw him stab ingratitude more strong than traitor's arms, quite vanquished him, then burst his mighty heart, and in his mantle muffing up his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue. কি বলছে when Caesar saw Brutus among the attackers, he was so overcome by ingratitude which was more deadly than stab of other conspirators. মানে seeing Brutus attacking Caesar, Caesar became so completely overcome by the ingratitude done by Brutus that which was most deadly than the stab of the other conspirators. Caesar's heart broke down completely, and he was hiding his face with his cloak as if he could not bear the stab of great ingratitude. He fell down on the foot of the statue of Pompey, which his blood was overflowing all over. So, when noble Caesar saw Brutus stabbing him, ingratitude more strong than traitor's arms, it seemed to Caesar as if he was so completely overcome by ingratitude, which was more deadly than the stab of other conspirators. Caesar's heart broke down completely, and he was hiding his face in the cloak as if he could not bear the stab of his ingratitude, and he fell at the foot of the statue of Pompey, which his blood was flowing all over. দিয়ে কি বলছে, oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen! Then I and you, all of us, fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, I perceive you feel. কি বলছে, with Caesar's death we all fell. Not only Caesar fell at the foot of the statue of Pompey, but all of us have fallen. And I and the rest of us, while the murderers and the traitors who are bloodthirsty conspirators win, they succeed and bring us our ruin. So Caesar has already got finished. He has already breathed last. But we are also no exception. We all also have fallen down, fallen very badly. Murderers and traitors who are bloodthirsty conspirators, they have succeeded in their venture. Oh, you weep, I perceive you feel. The dint of pity, these are gracious drops. Kind souls, what weep you when you but behold, are Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here, he is himself marred, as you see, with traitors. কি বলছে, it is natural. Oh, now I see the tears in your eyes. Oh, now you weep. ওটাই বলছে, I perceive you feel, মানে আমি I can see the tears in your eyes. It is natural that at last your hearts have melted and moved with pity for Caesar. The dint of pity, these are gracious drops. He is calling the tears to be as gracious drops, and he was completely sure that after a certain period of time, when the Roman people would realize what a heinous crime has taken place, what a heinous crime has been committed by the bloodthirsty conspirators, they will also start weeping with pity for Caesar. Your tears prove your love for Caesar. Dear, kind-hearted Romans, does the sight of holes in Caesar's clothes move your hearts with pity? এই যে আর সিজার্স ভেস্টার উন্ডেড, মানে সিজারের উন্ডেড জামাটা দেখে কি তোমার কষ্ট হচ্ছে? সাইট অফ দ্য হোলস ইন সিজার্স ক্লোথস মুভ ইউর হার্টস উইথ পিটি. See him here lying with your own open eyes. Here you see Caesar covered with wounds which were made by heartless conspirators. Look here, here is himself marred as you see with traitors. Mane, this broke his great noble heart, and covering his face in the cloak, great Caesar fell at the base of Pompey's statue, from where all the time blood was flowing as if the statue was bleeding. Oh, what a tragic fall it was, my countrymen! Caesar's fall was my fall and your fall. It meant ruin of all of us. The bloodthirsty traitors at the time triumphed over us. Mane, they have won over us. And it means ruin of all of us. The bloodthirst. Oh, now you are shedding tears. I find that pity has created an impression on you. These are tears of kindness and sympathy. You kind-hearted, as you are weep when you have as yet seen only the tears, mane the holes made by the traitors in Caesar's cloak. Now take a look at his body mangled, as you can see by the diggers of the traitors. And this bloody treason means cruel treachery. Now let's see what the first citizen speaks. Oh, जो two star means blood, अच्छा ना? हाँ. First citizen speaks. Oh, piteous spectacle! To star means what a pitiful sight. First citizen. Oh, piteous spectacle means oh, sad sight. Second citizen. Oh, noble Caesar. Third citizen. Oh, woeful day. Fourth citizen, oh traitors, villains. First citizen, oh most bloody sight. Second citizen, he will be revenged. Now all the citizens shout together, revenge about, seek, burn, fire, kill, slay, let not a traitor live. Now they are asking for justice. They have understood, they have come to the conclusion that yes, the cart is really unkind, the most unkindest cart of all, and that's why the traitors do not have the right to live any more. Antony, stay countrymen, means Antony is asking them to have patience, to stay back. First citizen, peace here, hear the noble Antony. So first citizen says that silence, listen to what Mark Antony says. Second citizen, we will hear him, we will follow him, we will die with him. Now, they have understood that they, from now onwards, their common purpose would be to teach lesson to the conspirators, the traitors, the bloody traitors. Antony, good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not, that made them do it. They are wise and honorable, and will no doubt with reason answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain, blunt man that love my friend. Mane, Antony is telling that he is not as great as Brutus. He is not a great orator like Brutus, but ironically, and Mark Antony is a much better orator in reality than Brutus. But he says that, Antony says that he is a plain, blunt man. He is not sharp. He is calling himself to be blunt. That love my friend and that they know full well, that gave me public leave to speak of him, for I neither wit nor words nor worth action or utterance nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right now to tell you that which you yourself do know, show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue on every wound of Caesar that would move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny. Mutiny means revolution, rebellion. Now let's go through the complete paraphrase of this portion. Antony, my friends, do not make my words to be a cause of so hasty an anger. So, good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. So, don't let your anger burst out in this way, seeming as if I am influencing you to be so rebellious. They that have done this deed are honorable. Again, he is ironically telling that whatever the traitors have done, Brutus and Cassius and the rest of the conspirators, they are honorable men and they have done the right thing. My words should not cause you to rise in sudden rebellion against the murderers of Caesar, for they are honorable men. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not. I don't know what personal grievances they had against Caesar that made them do it. কি জানি না ওদের পার্সোনাল গ্রিভেন্স ছিল সিজারের against যে, but they will give you sufficient reason to justify their deeds. But I am damn sure, means Antonio is damn sure that such honorable men like Brutus and Cassius will definitely give valid reasons, sufficient reason for the assassination of Caesar. I come not, friend, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain, blunt man. So, dear Romans, I came here not to win you over by my thoughts and feelings, by working on your emotions. I don't want to work upon your emotions. But I, being a common and simple man and not a skillful speaker like Brutus, you all know me as a straight and unpolished man who loved Caesar. This is also well known to those honorable men who have given me permission to speak to you in praise of Caesar. So, those honorable men only allowed to speak in front of you. এই যে বলছে I came here not to win, I come not friends to steal away your hearts, not to win your loyalty. I am no orator as Brutus is. আচ্ছা, I being a common man and simple man and not a skillful speaker like Brutus, uh, that love my friend and that they know full well gave me public leave to speak of him. And those you all know me as a straight and unpolished man who loved Caesar, and this honorable men only gave me permission to speak in front of you with the praise of Caesar. Action nor utterance nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. So I am powerless to move your hearts either by my cleverness or by my words, as my words are not proper and cannot carry any influence on the audience. He is actually influencing the audience, but in reality but he is telling ironically that he can't influence the audience. My speaking is defective and I am not able to accompany my speech with suitable gestures of my hands, and I don't know the exact gestures what should be made with my hands while speaking. I just speak out whatever comes to my mind, and so I inform you of the facts which I already know. I can only speak out about what is there in reality and what is known to me. I can't show proper gestures, and I will just show you the multiple wounds that are there in Caesar's body. But I have the skill of speaking like But if I have the skill of speaking like Brutus, যদি আমার ব্রুটাসের মতো অডিটরি স্কিল থাকতো, had I been equally skillful, had I been equally a skillful orator like Brutus, then I could have roused you to the highest level of excitement and made you see the wrongs that Caesar had suffered. So I would made you realize what wrongs Caesar had been subjected to, how much he had to suffer. By this, even the stones of the city would rise up. Means he is telling that had he been as great an orator like Brutus, he would have done, he would have delivered his speech in such a manner that stones of the city would rise up in rebellion against the traitors and start a revolution. We will mutiny. Now the citizens are telling citizens, we will all declare a mutiny. First citizen. We will mutiny. We will burn the house of Brutus. Third citizen. Away then, come seek the conspirators. Go and search out the murderers. First citizens are telling that we will mutiny. All the citizens are telling that we will mutiny. First citizen is telling that we will burn the house of Brutus. Third citizen is telling, away then, come seek the conspirators. Mane, let us go and search out the murderers. Antony, yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak. So Antony is telling that, my dear Romans, listen to me, allow me to speak some words. Citizen, peace, ho, hear Antony, most noble Antony. So silence, keep quiet, everybody, listen to what Antony says. Antony, why, friends? You go to do you know not what. My dear friends, you do not realize where your emotions are taking about you, where your emotions are taking you. আচ্ছা, কোথায় নিয়ে যাচ্ছে তোমাকে emotions? Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved you loves? How has Caesar deserved all his love from you? Alas, you know not, I must tell you, then you have forgot the wheel I told you of. Then he is again remind the audience about the wheel. You seem to have already forgotten, have totally forgotten about Caesar's will, which I had told you just a few moments ago. Now he is about to disclose what is written in that wheel. Citizens, most true the wheel, let's stay and hear the wheel. True, read the will, Antony. We will not go from here until you have read the conditions and terms of the will. Antony, here is the will, and under Caesar's seal, to every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man 75 Dutchmans. So this is a kind of currency kind of thing. 75 Dutchmans Caesar has written in his will that he is giving. He leaves an amount of 75 Dutchmans for each of the citizens. Dutchman means silver coins. Second citizen, most noble Caesar, we will revenge his death. Third citizen, most generous Caesar, Antony, hear me with patience, be quiet, everybody silence. Now, Antony is telling, hear me with patience. Then the citizens, all of them are saying aloud, be quiet, everybody silence. Let's see what Antony has to say. Mark Antony has to say. Next. In addition to that, now not only 75 5 Dutchmans or 75 silver coins he has left for each Roman citizen. He has also left some other things. What are they? Let's see. According to his will. Moreover, Caesar has left for the Roman citizens and their children with all his grounds, his gardens, his summer houses, fruit gardens by the side of the river Tiber. They are open for general citizens for enjoyment so that you can move about freely, enjoy and refresh yourself when you feel turmoil and tired after your day's work. He was a truly loyal person, and you will not meet another man so open and kind hearted and noble. So, Antony is telling that, moreover, he hath left you all his works, left for Roman citizens and their children with all his grounds, all his works, his private arbors. Arbors means garden, new plant orchards on this side Tiber. Tiber is the name of the river. He had left them you and to your heirs forever, means you and for your offsprings, your children. Common pleasures to walk about abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar when comes such another. So Antony is telling that in addition to that, he has left you all his works, his personal groves, many shady retreats, his newly planted gardens on his side of river Tiber. He has left these to you and to your heirs, 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 for all times to come. He has left these to be enjoyed by you and for you to walk about and refresh yourself. Here was a man worthy of the name of Caesar. Are we likely again to find another Caesar of this kind? আমরা কি আর এরকম আরেকজন পাবো? Here was a Caesar when comes such another. Is there anybody? Will we meet another great person like Caesar in this life? First citizen, never, never again. Come, let us go away from here. We will cremate Caesar's body in the sacred grounds and with the burning sticks set to fire to the houses of traitors. Carry the body. First citizen is telling, never, never come away. Away, we will burn his body in the holy place. With his brands fire the traitors houses, take up the body. কি বলছে, we shall never ever come across such a man like Caesar. Come at once to cremate his body in the pious place reserved for noble persons. So we will burn his body in the holy place, মানে sacred place of Rome where all noble persons are cremated, and with the brands fire the traitors' houses, take up the body. And after his cremation, we shall take some of the burning sticks of wood and put the houses of these evil conspirators on fire, so that they also die in that fire. Now let us carry Caesar's dead body on our shoulder for cremation. So, first citizen, what this speech is important of the citizen, that he comes to a resolution that first they will cremate the body in a very pious place that is reserved for noble person, and after cremation, with the same burning sticks of wood, he will. Here it is a little contradictory. Why? Because Christians, they normally cremate the bodies, they don't burn. But here they are telling, with the same sticks of burning wood, we will light the houses of the evil conspirators and they will also die in the same fire. So it's rather contradictory, isn't it? It puts us a question whether they are Christian or they are following the norms of the Hindus, the cremation, the burning, and the last rites that are performed by the Hindus. Second citizen, go fetch fire. Someone go and bring some lighted sticks of fire. Third citizen, pluck down benches. We must pull down some of the benches here now. And exert citizens with the body. Now all the citizens exit with the body.